Welcome to Shin's Tale, the strongest manga in history. Support us with a like and a subscription, and let's begin our story.
The story begins in a hospital room where a patient lies unconscious, his condition extremely critical. The doctors had almost given up hope. He hadn't woken up in a long time, but suddenly, as a single leaf touches his body, his eyes snap open. He gasps for air, his expression filled with confusion and fear. Pulling off his oxygen mask, he shouts, "I'm alive! I've reincarnated! I've reincarnated!" He keeps repeating those words again and again, trembling as if he can't believe what just happened. Trying to stand up, he suddenly realized his legs are gone. Shocked and helpless, he stares at the space where his legs should have been. What time is this? Where am I? He mutters, completely lost. Just then, a girl rushes toward him with tears in her eyes. She's his younger sister. "Tong, brother, you're finally awake. Don't worry, you're safe now. Your leg problem will soon be fixed," she says, holding his hand tightly. Seeing his sister's face fills him with relief. He finally believes it. He really has been reincarnated, but his body is still too weak to move. Tong, worried but determined, looks at him and says, "Brother, don't you worry. Whoever did this to you, I'll make sure they get punished." Her words echo in the silence room, but Shen, the man, remains deep in thought. This feels like the same time period 1 year before my death, he whispers to himself. And it's when the truth begins to unfold. Shin reveals that in his previous life, he was the owner of a multi-million-dollar company, one of the richest and most powerful men in the entire country. From here, the story dives into Shin's past and the mysterious reason behind his reincarnation. After the accident, Sang's condition became extremely critical. He had lost both of his legs, and because of that, everything he had built, his entire business empire, started slipping out of his hands. During this time, one of his closest friends, Tiana, stepped in to take care of it. "Don't worry, Sang. You don't have to feel sad about anything. I'll take care of everything," Tano said with a comforting smile. Hearing that, Xiang felt a small sense of relief. Tyon continued, "You'll recover soon, and until then, I'll manage your company proper. You can trust me, but soon." The truth began to surface. Tayana wasn't the friend he pretended to be. In reality, he was a vile and greedy man who only wanted to see Sang's company. Everything he did, every act of kindness was just part of his plan. However, Tiano didn't stop there. He went even further. He seduced Xiang's younger sister, Little Tong, and forced her to marry him. He blackmailed her, saying, "If you don't marry me, I'll stop your brother's treatment right now." In front of Xiang's helpless eyes, Tiano even dared to touch his sister inappropriately. Rage burned inside Sang like never before. "Ayanu, let her go, right now, or you'll regret it," he shouted furiously, trying to stand, but without his legs. He collapsed to the floor. Tianu laughed. "Krui, you think I'm scared of a crippled dog like you? You're nothing to me, Xiang." Tong screamed and cried, "Brother, please save me!" "Ayanu, we should say Aduomi," but Xiang couldn't move, couldn't do anything. And in the end, everything, his company, his wealth, and even his family fell into Tano's hands. Before marrying Tong, Tano had already made her unknowingly sign every asset transfer under her name. Once he married her, everything officially belonged to him. Xiang lost everything. But soon after, the world changed with the release of a revolutionary virtual reality game, Divine Path. Inside Divine Path, players could choose from countless unique characters, each with their own powers and profession. What made it truly special was that these in-game powers could later be used in real life. Once people discovered this, the game's popularity skyrocketed. However, achieving a high rank or rare profession required a lot of money, something So Young no longer had. Still, despite having nothing, he started playing Path. He gave it everything he had, but no matter how hard he tried, he kept losing. Even after reaching a decent level, he could never truly succeed. Little did he know, this game would soon become the key to his revenge and rebirth. The narration continues as Sang's desperation deepens. He has nothing left to fund his playtime in the game, because playing Path at a competitive level costs money he no longer possesses. Meanwhile, Tiano has been squandering Sang's wealth, and with those stolen funds has set a new record in the game. He's acquired strange, powerful abilities that have made Xiang green with envy and burning with hatred. This man ruined his life. He stole Xiang's name, his fortune, even his sister. One day, Xiang summons Tiano to the broken, abandoned house where he's been confined. Tiano arrives, arrogant and confused. "Tiano, why did you call me here? What do you want me to do in this ruin?" Xiang stands very still and answers, voice low and steady. "Xiang, look around you. There are bombs placed everywhere, wired, ready. I could detonate them at any moment." Tiano scoffs and steps closer, mocking. "Tiano, do you really think those things will kill me? You think a crippled man like you can threaten me?" Xiang's eyes narrow. He pulls a small hidden trigger. Xiang will see who dies and who survive. The moment the trigger is pulled, a deafening explosion rips through the house. The blast is massive. So massive that Xiang loses both of his hands in the shockwave. Blood, dust, and the bitter smell of cordite fill the air. He looks forward, his breath ragged, and says through gritted teeth, Xiang, finally, I've killed you. But as the smoke clears and Xiang forces his gaze ahead, he freezes, shocked, turning to disbelief. Something unexpected stands before him, and the scene cuts to a silent cliffhanger. Because Tayano stood before him without a single scratch. He sneered, "Do you really think you can kill me that easily? Thanks to the Divine Path game, I've grown far stronger than you can imagine. Now it's your turn to die. Let me tell you something. I was the one who had your mother and father killed. I am the one responsible for everything that has happened to you. I intended to take over your entire company, and the generation that follows you will carry my surname. Remember that." He crushed the man's face underfoot and spat. "Die! Your life has no purpose anymore!" After killing him, he walked away. Time snapped back to the present, and the survivor lay there, stunned, his mind racing with question. "I don't understand why I was reincarnated here," he thought. "I'm still in such a terrible condition. What was the point of coming back today? The game is launching." He turned to his sister and said, "I need to talk to you." Little Tong, placing her hand on his leg, replied in concern, "I can tell you're in a lot of pain, brother. Don't worry. I'll call the doctor right away." The moment she mentioned the doc, fury flared in. He snapped, "Wait! Don't go! I need to speak to you. You can't leave." She watched him with a heavy heart. Sadness hung over his sister like a shadow, and he heard her thoughts beneath the silence. "All of this happened because of you. There's only one path left, Divine Path. With it, I can take my revenge on you faster than anything else. No one knows yet that Divine Path affects reality itself. They'll only discover that in a month. By then, I'll be strong enough." He turned the plan over in his head, steeling himself. Just then, Tong spoke up, worry in her voice. "Wait, I think there's something seriously wrong with you. I'll call the doctor." The suggestion of medical help made him flinch. He grabbed her hand before she could move. Pulling her close, he said, "Buy me that game. Right now, I still hold the company's rights. So, get the Divine Path port for me today." Tong froze, shocked. "Why do you need a gaming port so badly?" she asked. She didn't understand the urgency. No one did. At that moment, Taiyan entered the room. "Brother," he said as he approached, "I never imagined you cared about gaming. You should be focusing on running things." Taiyan studied him carefully. He could already sense the motives behind the questions. Shin watched from the side, and Xing narrowed his eyes, knowing exactly what Taiyan was really after. "I'm in no state to run the company," Taiyan replied calmly. "I think you and Tong should manage it together." "I just want to play the game." Hearing that, Taino brightened. "Fine, play your game. I'll control the company completely. Don't worry, I'll bring the port soon." His relief was obvious, but he still remembered what he'd heard. Only 100 ports existed for Divine Path, and they were exorbitantly expensive, but they really need to buy one. Seng, who had been listening, leaned forward. "I still control all the company's wealth. I can use it however I want. Do you have a problem with that? Even if it costs 30 billion, I'll buy it." Tayano's face lit up. "So you want to play? Fine. Let's see how long you can keep at it." Inside, Taiyan cataloged every move, knew their intentions. He then took Tong aside. "Come with me, I need to talk." As he started to lead her away, Shen suddenly seized Tong's hand and pulled her close. "Leave little Tong with me. I need to speak with her. It's been a long time." He snapped. "You have work to finish. There are other patients in the hospital to tend to." Taiyan's jaw clenched. He stepped away, locked the door of the room, and seated silently. If that assassin had done his job properly, none of this would have happened. Why was the man still alive? If he stayed alive, he would continue to tighten his grip on the company. Next time, Taiyan thought, I'll hire someone else. He would not let a single corrupt soul touch his sister. Back in the room, Shun spoke plainly to Tong. "Convert every asset I own into gaming currency. Sell all company shares. Convert everything into whatever currency the gaming console uses." Tong stared, stunned. "Do you think I've gone mad?" Shun said, almost smiling. "I'm not mad, I'm certain." A short while later, the gaming port finally arrived. It took 3 hours to bring it in, and Shan sat down at once. "It's time to activate Divine Path." He activated the game, and the world shifted. He felt everything. His whole body came alive inside the system. "I can feel my legs again after so long," he murmured. A system window appeared, prompting him to choose a name. He typed Wang. The next screen asked him to select a class, the most important choice in the game. He remembered the class he'd chosen in his previous life. It had suited him perfectly. This time, he would choose the same one, because he knew how powerful and fitting it was for him. He knew exactly which class he had to choose, the one he had excelled at in his previous life. He selected archery. In his past life, he had been an extraordinary archer. His powers and abilities were astonishing, and choosing that class felt natural. As soon as he made the selection, the system confirmed he had picked an exceptional profession. A system window reopened and notified him that, as a VIP member of Divine Path, he was being granted a bloodline, an elven bloodline. He was stunned. Then another reward appeared, a skill book. His heart jumped. He had already mastered this exact skill book in his previous life. This is incredible, he thought. I had these same things before. Next, a divine box materialized before him. The description read that the box contained a divine relic and required 50 million gaming currency to open, 50 million yuan. He froze. It seemed ridiculous and impossible, but the urge to see what was inside overwhelmed him. If that bastard is going to waste my money, he fumed inwardly, remembering Tien. Then I'll burn through every last coin to stop him. Even if it costs 500 million, it's nothing to me. Rage at Tien's betrayal flared again. He had trusted Tien like a brother, and being deceived hurt deeply. Determined, he poured all his money into the game without hesitation. He clicked to open the box. A confirmation popped up. He pressed yes. A golden light shot up from the box, brilliant and pure, and he knew instinctively something divine was emerging. When the light subsided, he saw a colossal golden statue like a god standing behind the relic. Shen didn't give many details about it, but he could see a gauntlet clasped in the statue's hand, the gauntlet that now appeared on his own hand. The moment it attached, he felt his skills become far stronger than before, and new abilities unlocked. His upgrade speed accelerated, and his overall power jumped. He thought, all right, it's time to enter the main game. I meet every requirement. My skills far exceed those of normal players. I can't waste time here. He felt ecstatic, and then noticed more information on his screen. Reading it, he smiled. With these rewards, he was far stronger than he had ever been. Energy began to pour from the gauntlet, though the exact mechanics and purpose weren't yet explained. He glanced at the gauntlet's cooldown. 24 hours, he grimaced. A 24-hour cooldown is useless to me, he thought. If it ended sooner, I could keep using the skill constantly. He worried the game had cheated him after spending so much money, but pushed the thought aside. He immediately marked the mission area, the location where he could play this reality-affecting game, and prepared to move. Everything was set. The bloodline, the skill book, the divine relic, and his chosen class. He was ready to see what this new life and this game would truly let him become. At the place where he wanted to open the portal, he murmured to himself, "This time, I'll do everything just like I did in my previous life, but with a few differences, because this time, I have many abilities and secrets that no one knows about yet." With that thought, Sai began to move forward. As he walked, he said, "I still don't know much, but from what I do know, my first step should be to teleport into the village." He stepped through the portal before him and instantly arrived inside the village. Although he wasn't familiar with most of the area, he noticed something surprising. Many people were already there. While some were NPCs, a large number were real players who had entered before him. Seeing so many of them, he muttered in disbelief. "I had no idea there were so many rich people who started this game before me. These players were busy attacking chickens to gain experience and level up." Watching them, Sai sighed. This is pure stupidity. They're wasting time killing chickens for experience when they should be hunting monsters instead. They're new here, so they probably don't understand much yet. Two small children rushed past him, chasing after a chicken. Sahi shook his head and said to himself, "I don't have time to make fun of them. I need to focus on my own mission. I must level up as quickly as possible because I don't have much time." He thought, "Seriously, I only have 1 month. After that, the whole world will know that everything inside this game can be used in real life too. When that happens, things will become much tougher for me. So right now, becoming stronger is the only way to survive the coming challenges." Determined, he moved forward in search of monsters. He planned to hunt a boss-level monster that would grant him massive experience and help him level up quickly. "There's a lot of risk involved," he said, "but I have no other choice. I must take this risk if I want to grow stronger fast." He then added, "All right, let's first check my inventory before heading into battle." When he opened his inventory, his expression changed. Almost every item he had was low grade. He sighed in frustration. "These items are completely useless, and they can't even be upgraded. That's going to be a problem." But then he remembered something. "I still have my upgrade skill. I can enhance any item using it. The only issue is the 24-hour cooldown time. I have to choose carefully when to use it." After some thought, he decided, "I should upgrade my bloodline power first. If my bloodline evolves to level 2, my strength will increase drastically." He immediately took out his gauntlet and activated his elf bloodline upgrade. Within moments, his bloodline evolved. It was now promoted to the elf king level. Seeing the result, his eyes widened in excitement. "This is incredible. My power has grown far beyond what it was before. I can feel it. My strength, speed, and energy have all skyrocketed." The system notification appeared, confirming that his HP had also increased significantly. Behind him, the divine statue began to glow faintly, watching over him. Sahi smiled. I never imagined I could use this skill in such a way. If I can keep upgrading my powers like this, everything else will become much easier. With renewed confidence, he stepped forward. Ahead of him was the boss area where he'd planned to test his newly enhanced powers, but before he could go too far, he heard faint voices coming from inside the forest. A group of people talking nearby. Cautiously, he stopped and listened. The people in the area were talking about a wolf hunt. They had successfully captured one of the wolves. Standing at a distance, Shen watched everything unfold. Observing their strategy, he thought, these people really know what they're doing. They formed a team just to take down a single wolf. They must know that team rewards are smaller here, but the protection a team offers is much greater. Smart move. The group was discussing how to kill the wolf, knowing that taking down a level 2 wolf wouldn't be easy. Watching them carefully, Shan muttered, they really understand how this world works. I didn't expect anyone to be this intelligent so early in the game. Creating a team for safety and coordinated attacks. They came prepared, unlike me. I'm not ready yet. If I try to attack the wolf like this, I don't even know if I'll survive. Just then, one of the girls in the team suddenly said, I think someone's watching us. There's someone out there. Her companions quickly dismissed her concern. Don't worry, besides this wolf, there's no one else here, one of them replied. But in the next moment, a massive pack of wolves appeared from the shadows and began charging toward them. The players started screaming in panic as the wolves surrounded and attacked them. One of the players shouted, we're going to lose all our items. Another yelled back in pain. This pain feels real, even though we won't actually die here. It hurts. It really hurts. I can't bear it anymore. The wolves continued their relentless assault, clawing and biting without mercy. Amid the chaos, the players screamed for help, one of them crying out, please let me out of here. Meanwhile, Shen watched the scene unfold and said quietly, all right then, this is the perfect chance for me to strike. He locked his target on one of the wolves within the pack, drew his bow and fired a normal arrow. The shot hit perfectly. The level 2 wolf collapsed instantly, killed in a single hit. The other wolves stopped for a moment, sensing the sudden death of their companion. Shen noticed the system notification flash before him. His damage output had increased and he had leveled up to level 2. He smiled. Nice. I didn't expect this to work so well. My power has definitely improved. From the fallen wolf, he collected a small piece of wolf meat which could help him recover health later. He stored it safely and said, I should keep moving forward. But before he could, he noticed something alarming. A much larger pack of wolves had spotted him. They were rushing straight toward his direction, snarling and growling. So they've seen me too, Shen muttered. All right, time to test my speed. Let's see if it's grown as much as my attack power. He clenched his fists, channeled his energy, and released his full power. You want to chase me? Fine. Then come and see just how fast I become compared to you. With that, Shun dashed forward at incredible speed, disappearing into the forest as the entire pack of wolves charged after him. His speed matched the wolves fast enough that catching Sang was nearly impossible for the entire pack. He sprinted through the forest thinking, my powers increased so much compared to before. The wolves kept up their pursuit, but he kept shifting from one point to the next with explosive bursts of speed. The terrain was huge. He vaulted from one cliff to another and finally glanced back. To his surprise, the wolf pack had stopped following. Confused, he slowed and realized he had run into Area 2, the Buffalo Zone. Wolves never chased into this territory because the monsters here were all high level, many at level 5. Seeing the massive, powerful buffalo ahead, he breathed. I didn't expect I'd reach this area so easily, but this place is formidable. He taunted the wolves from the ridge, provoking them even as they fumed. The buffalo, huge level 5 monsters, dominated the valley. If he fought them now, he knew he would lose. Buffalo had far greater strength and defense than wolves. While he checked his status points and assessed his options, a small group approached players whose names and backgrounds he didn't know. A girl stepped forward, smiling. Handsome, you made it here. You should join our team, work with us. It'll be good for you. She offered Shan a place in their group. One of her companions snorted. He's too low level. Look, he's only level 2. He shouldn't join us. The girl shushed him and insisted. We need him on the team. Let him join. Sean shook his head and moved off. You don't need to fight anyone with me. I'm heading further in. I won't stick around. Do what you want, he said. Another teammate tried to reason with him. Listen, don't be so reckless. You don't understand what lies ahead. Bluehead member cut in, sharper now. Don't you know what happens if you die in this game? The next area is far more dangerous. We don't even dare go there as a team, Shen answered bluntly. I don't know what's beyond, and I don't know what happens when you die here. Blue-haired sighed and explained patiently. If you die in the game, you won't actually die in real life. But the pain feels real. Your equipment will drop where you fall. Everything you're carrying will be gone. Hearing that, Shen's expression tightened. No need, he said dismissively. I've got plenty of money. I'll just buy new equipment if I lose it. Don't worry about me. With that, he pushed onward. The others stared after him in disbelief. The big guy snorted. I told you he's reckless, completely out of his mind for heading into the next area. Wait until his weapons and skills are gone. Then he'll see what we meant. They muttered among themselves as Shen moved away. He didn't care what they said. He only wanted to find out for himself what lay beyond. As he advanced, Shen noticed a skull lying on the ground. He scooped it up, wondering whose it might have been, then carelessly tossed it aside. The skull arced through the air and landed with a thud atop a creature hidden in the brush, a colossal serpentine monster. Shen froze. The creature was the legendary Snake King, a level 10 boss that ruled Area 3. His heart jumped. Defeating that beast would yield massive experience. This could be exactly what I need, he thought. The Snake King sensed the intrusion and readied itself. Shun locked his target, summoned an arrow, and loosed it without hesitation. The bolt struck true. The level 10 serpent reared in fury. Shun felt the change immediately. His damage had spiked, and he could feel the combat flow more naturally. He'd expected a tough fight, but he was exhilarated by the opportunity. The serpent struck back. Its scales absorbed and deflected much of Shen's damage, and its tail lashed with devastating speed. Shen attacked relentlessly, probing for a weakness. The snake's armor-like scales blunted many blows, and its evasive maneuvers kept it just out of reach. Frustration built in Shen. When will it stop blocking? I needed to take a hit, he gritted. Then Shin changed tactics. Instead of hammering the head, he aimed for a softer portion of the beast's body. He concentrated his volleys on that vulnerable spot, hoping to break through the scales. The snake parried and dodged, using its tail to deflect several shots. Shen's impatience rose. He knew staying in one place would invite a flurry of deadly counterattacks, so he kept moving, firing rapid, controlled barrages, and relying on speed to avoid being overwhelmed. For a long moment, the Snake King shrugged off attack after attack, but then, as Shan pressed his assault and forced the beast to expose a seam in its defense, one arrow finally landed squarely on the serpent's flank. The creature howled as real damage registered. Shan seized the opening and pressed the advantage. Every muscle and arrow focused on turning that single successful hit into a full, decisive victory. The arrow struck the serpent with tremendous force, dealing massive damage. However, even after such a powerful hit, Shan couldn't figure out how to properly counter the snake's relentless attacks. Gritting his teeth, he muttered, "I need to come up with something fast. If this continues, our fight will drag on forever, and I don't intend to let that happen." But before Shun could think further, the snake suddenly unleashed a cloud of poisonous gas, spreading it all around the battlefield. The venomous mist was so thick and potent that Shun began to cough violently, his body weakening as his HP started to drop rapidly, second by second. "Damn it," he thought, covering his mouth. "I can't see anything. What should I do now?" The snake slithered through the dense fog, its eyes glowing eerily as it searched for Shen's silhouette. Moving swiftly, it prepared to strike once more, ready to finish the fight, but before it could, Shen suddenly let out a dark, sinister laugh that echoed through the mist. It's finally your turn. You never saw this coming. Without wasting a second, Shan summoned his divine bow, his hands steady despite the spreading toxin in his veins. "This arrow," he said coldly, "will not miss its target. Its power is far greater than any I've used before." With a sharp twang, he released the divine arrow. The sheer force of the shot sliced through the poisonous fog, clearing the air around them in an instant. The snake tried to dodge, managing to avoid a direct hit, but the explosion from the arrow shattered the ground beneath it, sending debris flying. The serpent roared in pain as cracks spread across its scales. Now, advancing like a dark warrior, Shen's eyes began to glow with an ominous red hue. "What's wrong?" he taunted. "Still think you can defeat me? It won't be that easy." The Snake King hissed furiously, its eyes burning with fiery rage as it lunged forward again. But even now, Shun continued to take steady poison damage. His HP kept dropping dangerously low. "If this continues," he realized grimly, "I won't last much longer. I need to finish this fight fast." Determined, Shun leapt high into the air, aiming to strike from above where the fog was thinner and his vision clearer. However, the serpent refused to give him any openings. It lashed out repeatedly, snapping its massive jaws and whipping its tail in furious bursts. Shen barely managed to dodge each attack using his incredible speed, but the toll of the poison was starting to show. He could feel his body growing heavier, his breathing shallow. "If I stay in this poisonous field any longer," he muttered, "I won't survive. I need to end this now." Channeling the last of his strength, Shan sprinted across the battlefield, his bow glowing once. Again, he nocked another arrow, aiming precisely at the same weak point he had been analyzing since the start of the fight. This time, his shot hit perfectly. The arrow pierced through the serpent's scales, dealing massive damage. The Snake King hissed violently, thrashing its massive body in pain. Shang narrowed his eyes and thought, is it about to change its strategy again? He knew that every time he gained an advantage, The serpent quickly adapted. "If I keep fighting recklessly, this will drag on. And I can't afford that," he muttered, tightening his grip on the bow. "I need to outthink this creature." As Shen prepared his next strike, the Snake King suddenly began shifting directions, erratically twisting and circling around him. Its unpredictable movements made it nearly impossible to target. Shen frowned. What's it planning now? Before he could react, the snake slammed its massive tail into the ground with incredible force. The impact was so strong that deep cracks spread across the battlefield, shaking the ground violently. Shen staggered back, shocked. "What the? Why is it destroying the area itself?" The ground beneath him gave way, and Shen fell into a deep pit. Dust and debris surrounded him as he hit the bottom hard. Coughing, he looked up and muttered, "If I stay here, I'm an easy target. I need to climb out fast before it finds me." He could see the snake above slithering near the edge of the pit. Shen smirked faintly and whispered, "Just as I thought. You'll take any chance to finish me off, but let's see what you do next." The serpent didn't descend. It opened its massive jaws and unleashed another wave of poisonous gas, flooding the pit below. The toxic mist spread quickly and Shen's HP began to drop, 20 points every second. His lungs burned, his vision blurred. "Damn, I didn't expect it to use poison again. At this rate, my health will deplete completely." In desperation, Shen reached into his pouch and pulled out a chunk of meat, the one he had taken from the wolf he defeated earlier. "It won't cure the poison," he said while biting into it, "but it'll keep my healing rate up just enough to survive a little longer." His strength slowly began to stabilize. "As long as I can hold out long enough to kill this thing, that's all that matters. I can't give up now." With renewed determination, Shen sprinted upward, climbing out of the pit. Meanwhile, the Snake King hissed angrily, releasing more poison across the battlefield. Shen, emerging from the mist, shouted, "You thought this would stop me? You're nothing but a stepping stone for my destiny. You don't even realize what I've come to achieve in this world. You're just here to make me stronger." The Snake King reared up, readying another strike. But Shen had already drawn his bow again. "Now die!" he shouted, releasing another arrow that shot forward with blinding speed. The arrow hit its mark, striking the serpent's side with explosive force. The Snake King recoiled in pain, its body trembling as cracks began to form across its scales. Shen smirked. "I know you're not dead yet. That's why I've prepared something special just for you." Without hesitation, he summoned a second, more powerful arrow glowing with divine energy and fired it straight into the serpent's chest. The impact sent a shockwave through the entire area. This time, the Snake King screamed. A system notification appeared before Shen. 200 damage delivered. Target, Snake King, level 10, eliminated. Shen landed gracefully on the ground beside the fallen creature. Smirking, he said, "Told you we're going to die here." Suddenly, another system alert appeared before his eyes. "Congratulations, player Shen, you have defeated a level 10 boss monster while being only level 3. Promoting player to next level." As the light from the notification surrounded him, Shen's wounds healed instantly, and his power surged stronger than ever before. Outside the dungeon, the spectators who had been monitoring the battle were left utterly speechless. They stared at the screen in disbelief. A level 3 player had just single-handedly slain a level 10 boss monster, something no one had ever seen before. As soon as the news spread across the game world, players everywhere were stunned. "How is that even possible?" one of them exclaimed. "A newcomer just entered the game, and he's already set records no one's ever seen before. He killed a level 10 king tier monster all by himself." The chat feeds and live streams exploded in disbelief. Everyone had received the same global notification. Player Wong defeated level 10 boss monster. Solo kill achieved. Even seasoned players struggled to process it. "That's impossible," another said, staring wide-eyed at the system message. "He's only level 3. We're fighting the same kind of monsters in teams and barely surviving." Across the map, a different squad led by a player with striking blue hair was celebrating their own victory over a bull monster. "That thing was as tough as a boss monster," one of them said proudly. "We've gotten so strong. Maybe we should hunt a few more before heading deeper," the heavyset teammate laughed. "Yeah, we're unstoppable now." But their blue-hailed leader smirked mischievously. "Forget monsters. Let's prank our teammate a little first." They glanced toward their quiet companion sitting nearby, expecting her to laugh or praise them, but she said nothing. Instead, the air around them shimmered. Suddenly, their system screens lit up too. Announcement: Player Wong has defeated a level 10 boss monster solo. Each of them froze. An eerie clown mask graphic appeared briefly on their faces, a mocking reminder that someone else had outclassed them completely. "Who the hell is this Wong?" one of them snapped. "How could someone be stronger than us already? We haven't even heard of him before." The scene then shifted to Wong himself, whose real name was Shan. He stood calmly amidst the aftermath of the battle, checking his system screen as lines of golden text appeared before him. "Level up, +5. Current level, 7 stats updated. Shan exhaled deeply, a faint smile forming on his lips. So, I jumped 5 levels in one fight. Not bad. He began reviewing his stats one by one. My agility has risen sharply. That's my main attribute anyway. Health has improved a lot too. Everything's looking good. Perfect, actually, for a beginner warrior. Turning around, he noticed the glimmer of scattered treasures behind him. Looks like the boss dropped quite a few rewards, he muttered. These could be really useful later on. A new notification appeared. Collect your rewards before they expire. He nodded and began gathering them one by one, curious about what he had earned. The first thing he picked up made his eyes widen. Gold coins? He gasped. I didn't expect this. Even level 5 bull monsters only drop bronze coins, but these are golden. This must be something rare, maybe even a treasure tier drop. Excitement surged through him. These will definitely come in handy later. This area must be more special than I thought. As he continued collecting, beams of light flickered across the field, each marking a new reward spot.
Shen hurried toward the next glowing treasure. This one looks valuable too. The next item he discovered was a shimmering golden stone. He picked it up carefully, examining its glow. I don't know what this is yet, he murmured, but it's definitely important. Something tells me this will be useful in the future. A confident smile crossed his face as he checked his inventory again. This place, it's more rewarding than any beginner zone I've ever seen. His system pinged Lymph more. You still have uncollected treasure. Please retrieve all items. Oh, more loot, Shen grinned. The ones I've picked so far are already incredible. What else could be waiting? When he approached the next treasure, his eyes widened again. It was a sword, gleaming faintly under the light, but his excitement faded after reading its stats. A sword? That's useless for me. I'm a bow user, he sighed. Still, I can probably sell it for a good price later. That's some easy money. He moved on to the next reward and froze in astonishment. A set of armor lay before him, radiating power. Whoa, this armor is insane, he whispered, checking its stats. It's way stronger than anything I've seen so far. But just as he was about to equip it, a notification flashed red across his screen. Requirement: level 10 authority needed to equip item. He blinked in surprise. Level 10, but I'm only level 7. Frustrated, he muttered, "Why give me something I can't even use yet? What's the point of teasing me like this?" Still, curiosity drove him to check the final item. When he opened the next treasure prompt, a silver glow illuminated his face. His jaw dropped. A silver chest. Silver chests were incredibly rare. Even high-ranking players rarely encountered one this early. He chuckled softly. All right then, looks like it's time to open it and see what kind of miracle's waiting inside. Since my luck has been going great lately, let's see what's inside this chest. As he opens it, a bright light flashes and the system notifies him. He's obtained a divine skill book. Seeing that, Shen is completely shocked. A divine skill book? He exclaims in disbelief. And it's for archery too. I never expected something this rare to drop for me. He inspects the book carefully, and the system details appear in front of him. It's a powerful divine skill that allows him to fire multiple arrows at once, striking multiple enemies simultaneously. But when he tries to use it, another notification pops up on his screen. System requirement not met. Level 10 authority needed to equip this skill. Sheng's expression darkens instantly. Are you kidding me? He yells at the system. Do you want me to stay weak forever? Every time I find something good, you throw another restriction in my face. I can't even use this until I reach level 10. Frustrated but determined, he lets out a sarcastic laugh. Fine, I'll just keep grinding. If I want real power, I'll have to level up as fast as possible. Sitting around complaining won't help. He starts to leave, ready to continue his journey. But suddenly, please help me. A faint, trembling voice echoes from nearby. Sheng freezes and turns toward the sound. Who's there? He asks cautiously as he peers around the corner of a cracked stone wall. He spots a girl lying on the ground, injured and barely able to move. The system immediately identifies her. NPC, Lu Hidden Class Opener. Lu, Sheng murmurs, then realization hits him. Wait, a hidden class opener? She can help unlock a hidden class for me. Looks like saving her might be worth it after all. He walks closer and says calmly, Don't worry, I already took down the snake boss monster. You're safe now. You can get out of here. But the girl looks up at him with pleading eyes and says softly, Big brother, I'm sorry, but I can't walk. My legs are injured. Please, can you carry me out of here? Sheng smirks, then sighs. Fine, I'll help you. He gently lifts her into his arms and starts walking toward the exit. As they move, Lu clings to him slightly and whispers,
Big brother, if you hadn't come and killed that snake monster, I would have died for sure. Her voice becomes softer, more seductive, as she looks into his eyes, but Shang instantly senses her intentions. His expression hardens, and in one swift motion, he throws her off him to the ground. Listen carefully, he says coldly. Don't even think about trying something like that with me again. I'm not interested in your tricks. Lu winces from the fall, her eyes widening in surprise. Shang steps closer and adds firmly, if you really want to repay me, then do it properly. Help me open my hidden class. That's how you can pay me back. Trembling, Lu yawns her voice. I don't have anything else right now, she says quietly. I know about your daughter in the neighboring village. If you don't give me what I want, I'll go there and scare her myself. You're not important enough to stand in my way. If I can kill the Snake King, I can take on your village too. I won't be here much longer if you refuse. His threat carried the weight of someone who had already faced death and come out stronger. Lu blanched. Wait, stop. Don't do anything. Her tone turned, pleading. I'll give you the task. I'll help you open your hidden class. She straightened, eyes hardening into resolve. You did wrong before, but if you want your hidden class opened, stand in the formation. I'll activate it. Shang scoffed. Hurry up, I don't have time for your nonsense, he grunted. Without another word, Lu began a strange rhythmic movement, a dance that doubled as a ritual. Shang watched, bewildered. What are you doing? Why are you dancing? He asked aloud. The dance was odd, but as she moved, shimmering glyphs and lines of light began tracing themselves on the ground. The air vibrated. The formation took shape. Stand in the center, Lu instructed.
Welcome to summaries 5 and 6 of the story of Shen. If you haven't watched the previous parts yet, I'll leave the link in the pinned comment. Check it out, and then come back so we can continue our story. And don't forget to support us with a like, and subscribe to the channel so we can reach 1,000 subscribers as quickly as possible.
Shang stepped into the circle reluctantly, drawn by the one thing he actually wanted, the hidden class. Energy hummed from his body as the formation activated. Shang felt power pooling around him. So this is the hidden class activation, he muttered, exhilarated despite himself. This could be huge. Lu's face soured suddenly. You invoked my daughter's name and threatened her, she said quietly, venom in her words. You ought to be ashamed. You won't get away with it. What you think is cute now will be brutal when the formation exacts its price. Her eyes flashed. The system pinged a notification in Shang's view. Hidden class activation. Task started. Difficulty hard. Starting at level threshold. Shang froze. What? I'm only level 7. How can I clear a hard level activation? Panic crept in. He tried to step out of the formation, but his feet were stuck, locked in place by the ritual's magic. Get me out of here, he snapped. You're insane. I won't be trapped in whatever you're doing. He tugged, but the formation held him fast. Lu's voice was cold now. You made a mistake. The cost of that mistake will be paid here and now. You will not leave this place. If you try to escape, you will die. Her words left no ambiguity. A voice hissed from the shadows, someone who had once been shown mercy. So this is your plot. I never thought you'd do something like this. I saved you, and this is how you repay me? The formation tightened. Shang's body began to sink into the glowing sigils on the ground, the energy wrapping around him like chains. He struggled, breathing hard as he realized the price Lu required was real and immediate. The hidden class activation had begun, and with it, the reckoning for every choice he had made up to this point. Shang gaped as the formation pulled him in. Before leaving, he shot one last glare at Lady Lu. You're underestimating me, he warned. When I get out of this, I'll teach you a lesson you won't forget. Remember that. With that, the ritual swallowed him. Energy coiled around him and dragged him into the pattern. Lu watched coldly, then laughed, sharp and satisfied. You'll die here. You won't escape. The scene cut away. When Shang's vision cleared, he found himself standing in a vast desert where a new formation had already opened. She left me to this? He muttered to himself. If I'm going to survive, I have to do everything right. He scanned the horizon, trying to identify his opponent. A system notification chimed in his view. Warning, monsters detected nearby. Remain alert. Attacks possible at any time. Shang frowned. There was nothing in sight. He drew his bow anyway, ready to strike the instant something appeared. The ground shuddered without warning. Tentacle-like appendages burst up from the sand all around him. Shang's eyes widened. What kind of monster is this? He breathed. If the creature continued popping in and out of the ground like this, he wouldn't be able to land a solid blow. The thing lunged, but Shang's speed let him slip free of its grasp when he glimpsed the monster's maw, a terrible cavernous opening. Shang's face hardened. This is worse than the Snake King, yet he had already locked on to a weak point, using his archery instincts. Weak point locked, time to attack, he told himself. He loosed a volley of arrows, each one aimed precisely. For a moment, it looked like his barrage was working, then the creature simply absorbed the strikes and sagged back underground. Shang watched, stunned. If it can disappear like that and reappear at will, I can't finish it by pure force. This will drag on and on. The monster re-emerged yet again, faster and more furious. Shang realized that it could erupt beneath him from any point in the terrain. A direct confrontation was a gamble.
He had to change his approach. I need a position where it can't pop up under me, he thought. Some solid ground or structure where I can lock it in view. He observed the marks in the sand, small openings like breathing holes scattered across the field. So that's how it travels underground, he muttered. It's using connected tunnels to strike. I need to trap it. Sean scanned the area for anything that could serve as a choke point, some high ground, a ledge, anything to deny it the advantage of surprise. As the creature lunged again, Sean didn't panic. From there, he could fight on safer ground. He broke into a sprint, the desert wind whipping around him. Let's see which of us reaches that tower first, he barked, spitting grit from his mouth. The monster's bulk surged up from the sand ahead of him, closer than he expected. Sean skidded to a stop, furious and focused. So, you're back in my path. Fine, I'll take this chance. He readied his arrows, pushing through the haze and lining up the monster's weak points in his mind. He'd studied its movement patterns, now he had to execute. As he drew, the creature vanished beneath the sands again, only to pop up in a new place. Sean cursed under his breath. Where will you come out next? He muttered, but the knowledge he'd gathered about its behavior steadied him. He'd learned to predict it. He set his stance, prepared everything, arrows, angle, breath. He would not waste this opportunity. He needed the monster to reveal itself on his terms. The tactic worked. The sand erupted as the beast lunged for him. This time, Sean had the pillar between them. He spun around it, using the stone as cover so the monster couldn't tunnel directly under him. Once it appeared, he unleashed a rapid barrage of arrows. The creature attempted to absorb the impacts and vanish, but the pillar disrupted its pattern. Sean had read the rhythm of its attacks. He forced it into a predictable sequence and exploited the seam. Your attack pattern isn't that complicated, he said aloud as he fired again and again. I've seen enough to know how you move. Each arrow struck, cracking the beast's hide and forcing it back into the sand. The monster retaliated with a violent surge, but Sean baited it, using sound and movement to keep it committing to openings. The back and forth continued. The beast will explode up, take hits, and sink again, but each emergence cost it more stamina. Slowly, steadily, Sean wore it down. At last, after a desperate flurry, the creature staggered. This is it, Sean breathed. He lines up the shot, breath steady. This is the last attack, he tells himself. After this, maybe I'll get a red razor and this task will finally be done. He releases the arrow. The beast collapses where it stands, and a scatter of rewards spill across the sand. Sean jogs forward to collect them, but his excitement dies as he inspects the drops. Most of the loot is useless to him. Low-grade materials, common coins, nothing like the treasure he expected after slaying such a huge monster. Frustration curls in his chest. I thought a boss this big would drop something great, he grumbles. Only experience points, that's it. Then he notices the pillar beside the tower start to glow. A single word lights up on its face, one of several inscriptions, while the others remain dark. Sean frowns. Why did only one word activate? Why weren't the rest triggered? And why was the treasure so disappointing? Anxiety pricks at him. A dangerous thought crosses his mind. What if his suspicion is correct? If so, whatever it means will be far worse than he imagined. No time to dwell. More monsters begin emerging across the plain. Not one or two, but a whole pack streaming toward him in unison. Sean's stomach drops. 7 of them at once. Fighting all of them together would be impossible, no matter how many abilities I have, he mutters. Panic sharpens into pragmatism. He bolts back to the tower. Stone offers the only real safety in this shifting sandscape. Monsters race after him and claw at the tower's base, but as soon as he climbs to its top, they sink back into the sand as if the tower had some repelling effect. Sean exhales. I knew something like this would happen, he says. Still, the reprieve is temporary. He can't stay pinned on the tower forever. If he fights in the open sand, the pack will overwhelm him in a single coordinated strike. Even with his speed, dodging 7 simultaneous assaults is impossible. He needs a plan. He thinks quickly, eyes flicking over the worthless bronze coins scattered on the ground. Bronze won't bait them. It's useless for what he's about to attempt. Then he remembered the silver coins he collected earlier. An idea sparked. Sean pulled out a handful of silver and began to toss them one by one toward the flat expanse below. The coins scattered, glittering across the sunlit sand. A bait, a lure to draw individual monsters up to predictable spot. Loud metallic clinks echoed through the air, sharp enough to stir the sand itself. The monsters reacted instantly, emerging one after another from beneath the ground, drawn by the sound. A smirk curled on Sean's lips. "One by one," he said coldly, "you're all going to die here. You don't know it yet, but I'll take you down, every single one of you." The first monster burst out of the sand, and Sean was already waiting. He launched his attack without hesitation, unleashing a rapid barrage of strikes in succession. But to his surprise, the attacks barely scratched the creature. Its health dropped only a little, the damage far lower than he expected. Sean's eyes widened. "Its defense is insane," he muttered. "I didn't think any of them would be this tough. The last one wasn't even close to this level. They must be evolving, getting stronger each time." He tightened his grip, steadying his breath. "Fine, then I'll just have to be smarter." Without wasting a second, he tossed another silver coin into the sand. Come out. I've prepared something special for you, too."